Alrighty, Helldivers, today we're diving into the latest major order bug. We're also going to go over an official message from High Command, and we'll check out a recent nerf that players have just discovered. Not only that, we've got a lot more to talk about. If you haven't done so already, support Super Earth today by tapping the thumbs up and hitting the hype button below. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm sure many of you noticed that yesterday the Arrowhead team ran into a small bug where the major order briefing was incomplete. It only showed the arc number we're currently on, where we're at in the story, and the same issue also appeared on the major order page itself. That said, we now have the full briefing right here, which High Command has sent out. The Illuminate have launched a series of unprovoked, cowardly raids against several of our most pristine and highly valued territories. Appropriator squads, combat units dedicated to the illegal extraction of Federation personnel, are targeting the very heart of the human family, snatching hard-working voters from their idyllic porches for unconfirmed reasons formerly designated as undemocratic. Though the Ministry of Intelligence has yet to determine the exact purpose of these mass abductions, the Ministry of Prosperity warns that the sheer volume of stolen citizens presents a critical threat to Federation workforce productivity and regional fiscal stability. The Helldivers must interdict the systematic and unlawful biological requisition and deny the enemy's harvesting operations before they reach critical mass. The Helldivers are ordered to defend against Illuminate attacks, deploy all effective systems, and repel the latest insidious scheme with the righteous vigor these hideous, xenophobic aliens deserve. Stand as the unyielding wall of liberty and deny these alien thieves these citizens they covet. So yeah, like I mentioned at the start, the major order was bugged when it first dropped, so nobody actually knew what we were supposed to do, at least until the developers fixed it. At the time, we could tell it had something to do with the Illuminate because, of course, there are some Illuminates on the banner, but we had no idea what their plan actually was. Now, we know exactly what's going on. As you can see right here, we need to successfully defend against a total of 5 attacks. So far, we're doing a great job. We've already defended one planet successfully. I was honestly really proud to see how organized the community was. Most players rushed over to Bay hoping to pull off a gambit, but it didn't work out. If you're wondering why, well, the reason is we couldn't gambit because 2 planets were attacking one planet at the same time. You can tell there's 2 arrows here, right? One arrow on the left, and then there's another arrow on the other side, pointing at one planet. If you liberate one planet like we did with Bay, then of course that's not going to stop the attack because again, you have another planet attacking that one planet. Continuing on, a player on the Helldivers subreddit mentioned an issue with the jump pack. They go on to say that it's supposed to completely negate fall damage regardless of height, but the ragdoll animation triggers too early before, the jump pack can actually reactivate. And as a result, you'll still ragdoll and take damage. This player pointed out a specific line on the Helldivers wiki page where it says, using the jump pack when descending from hills or high ledges allows a long distance to be traveled horizontally without taking fall damage. But be careful not to fly into obstacles or hazards. Okay, at this point we have to ask ourselves, is it game breaking? Is it possibly a major issue? Or does it affect my gameplay? Does it affect how I play? And in my opinion, it might. It might affect some of you. But issues like this are often brought up by players in hopes of getting a fix from Arrowhead. Now, that said, some believe it's currently working as intended, while others think it's meant to negate the fall damage no matter how high you are. Anyway, my question for you all is, do you think it's actually a bug, or is it working as intended? Let me know. Do you think they should change it? If it is, let's talk about it. Moving along, we've got some updated known issues. Right here, the Arrowhead support team wrote, network desync between players can cause the collision to be inconsistent on enemy corpses. I have no idea what that is. Like, what? If anybody has a clue as to what this bug is, let me know in the comments. I don't understand. Does it affect how you play? If it does, again, let me know. The second and last issue here, users may not hear other users on voice chat in a crossplay lobby. Interesting. That one I actually experienced recently. Hosted a stream, and then next thing you know, someone joined, and for whatever reason, they couldn't hear me. And I thought it was me, but it turns out it was the game's fault, not mine. Good to know. But yeah, right there are the updated known issues. If the developers or support team members update the issues even further, I'll let you know in an upcoming video. We're now going to switch topics and talk about whether Sentries and FRVs have received a nerf. Currently, there are players claiming the FRVs and Sentries received a nerf. In the title, they wrote, Sentries nerfed and no statement from AH. Health 50% nerfed. Automatons 300% durable damage buff. They are keep nerfing things players enjoy. I like how they said they are. They do not show you nor say it to you because community is considered as toxic. They will keep buffing enemies and nerfing Helldivers because of their philosophy. Someone in the comments here we can see is a moderator. They actually go on to ask, is it correct for them to assume it's misinformation? They never heard of it before other than the durability changes, and they go on to, talk about some other things. And then on the bottom they say, after looking at this more, I don't believe this is really misinfo and rather just me looking at it the wrong way, so I personally returned the original flare. I'll also leave this pinned in case anyone else is wondering, as there's some answers below my comment. Then if we go ahead and check out the comments here, we have someone that wrote, Sentries are 80% durable. The massive buff they gave to durable damage on enemies effectively gutted any survivability on the Sentries. 30 to 100 damage on Devastator rockets means it takes 3 to destroy a Sentry instead of 9 or 10. That being said, if we go over to helldivers.wikis.gg site, we can see right here there's a change, and it says rockets now deals increased damage versus durable targets. Projectile durable damage increased from 30 to 100. The proof is literally right here. Not only that, this change also affects the fast recon vehicle as well. And to be fair, yeah, it does suck. It's something similar in the past when they adjusted the fire damage, which also affected the Coyote and some other fire type weapons like the stratagems, right? At the time, you guys know this, the community was quite upset because it felt like a stealth nerf. Nothing was specifically mentioned in the patch notes about how it would impact the Coyote. Anyway, all in all, I believe it's valid to bring this up, not to complain or create drama content. In fact, if I can be honest, I really dislike posting negative stuff or drama-heavy content on my channel because, to be real, it makes me feel sick and tired, and it just puts me in a negative mood, and I just feel like, bleh, right? It's awful. And I bet it makes you feel the same way, right? So instead of just bashing what has been changed here, I'd rather talk about it in a positive and constructive way and hopefully get Arrowhead's attention on this one, right? Because it would be cool to see it reverted. Anywho, let me know what you think. Would you like to see the developers revert this change, or would you like it to stay the same? Does it affect you? Does it not? Let's chat about it. Speaking of chatting about something, this next one is worth chatting about because apparently Sony has filed a patent for a brand new PlayStation controller concept, and it's insane. So right here, Pirate Nation wrote, Sony has filed a patent for a new PlayStation controller concept called the Manipulating Device with Deformable Grid Structure. A grid of up to 25 individual nodes arranged in a 5x5 array. Interconnected shafts that allow the entire controller to twist, squeeze, pinch, elevate, push, extend, contract, and bend. Nodes that can move individually or together for precise player input. Force-like tactile feedback, including sensation of weight, friction, impact, and localized vibration in each node. A soft cloth-like outer material for comfortable two-handed grip. One example in the patent shows players pulling a node upward to form a volcano in the game terrain, then twisting it to trigger an eruption. Holy smokes! The idea right here sounds insane. Again, it's crazy to me just trying to picture what this controller would look like. Now, you do have like a few ideas here. I don't believe this is actually from the concept. It might be. I don't know. But if this is actually it, that's insane. Again, because you can see how there's so many different nodes and things connected. I would actually be so confused using this controller. Okay, time to go over some top comments. First from Alex. Next update, to compensate for the new exosuits, the Vox engines will be escorted by 5.9 War Striders. Also, the Javelin will break again. Please do not curse a single thing. If I see that in the next update, I'm blaming Alex. 100. The second top comment comes from XXX Snacks. Jason Momoa for the Helldivers movie, that already doomed. I'm not going to say the word he said, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the movie. I can't judge it unless I see it. The third and final top comment is by B. Groucho. Movie we got one like 30 years ago. It's called Starship Troopers. Jokes aside, I want to see a Ryan Reynolds Helldiver get murked on screen. Maybe you just might see it. Who knows? But that's pretty much it for today's video. Tap the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know what you think in today's video. Hope you all are having a great day out there, and I'll see you in the next one.